r/AskReddit. People that have played video games for extended periods, have you ever felt like you were still in the game, even after you have stopped? If so, what happened? My cousin has played GTA for hours, and it was raining in the game. When he stopped playing, his mother and aunt came home. He asked them if they got wet because of the rain. I can see myself doing that, lol. GTA is so bad for this, because it's closer to reality than most games. I remember keeping such a sharp eye out for good cars to sell in the game that real cars with similar features caught my eyes hard. I've had a weirdly hard time focusing on driving. That creeping suspicion that it would be okay to take a shortcut into the other lane, through a couple light poles, screw it, go over the steps of the courthouse. Also, I hear stoplights are an actual thing in real life. I run over the yellow lane dividers all the time in the game. There's something satisfying about that done, when you knock them down, lol. There's an intersection in my town that has those, and one day I caught myself nearly jerking the steering wheel left in my real life car to hit them. I had to slap myself back to reality really quick. I still run them over in the game though, lmayo. I once quit a Half-Life marathon to leave my room and thought quick save when I was about to open my bedroom door. I'm a programming student and I dropped a bowl at my job the other day and made a huge mess. My first reaction was to hit Ctrl+Z in midair with my left hand. I do this every time I make a mistake and it's devastating that it doesn't work like that. My son was taking the ACT test and thought, this is an important test, I better quick save. You son sounds like a man of culture. I wish him well. This is almost too stupid to tell, but as kid I played whole day checkers on my PC. Then when I finally stopped and went eating, I felt like that I need to walk on the floor in the correct way to not break the rules. I bet the very low blood sugar was having a very big role in this. Sounds a little bit like the Tetris effect, where people who had played Tetris for an extended period of time will sometimes constantly think about how to arrange objects to use as little space as possible. Alright, now I'm going to play Tetris every time before I visit IKEA. As a cashier, I've always mentioned to thank Tetris for the ability to properly and efficiently bag. I've had customers come back to me just for that. Pro tip: do not walk through a crowded parking lot after a weekend of playing Dr. Mario. You keep mentally trying to rearrange the parked cars. I could see the gameplay when I closed my eyes. And the game was Transfer Mice, lol. Jesus. Nothing scarier than seeing a giant group of mice race to the cheese and back while pushing each other off the flimsy bridge the shaman made. I remember when I was playing Minecraft constantly, every time I closed my eyes I'd see these elaborate block structures. A huge hand made of blocks reaching up through a mineshaft. A hopelessly complex cavern with underground rivers flowing through it, a creeper splashing in a waterfall. I did this with The Witcher 3. I stopped playing after my husband had gone to bed and didn't want to turn the light on or wake him up, so I attempted to activate my Witcher senses in hopes that they would highlight the items I needed to access in the bedroom, laundry bin, phone charger, etc. I immediately felt stupid. You could theoretically develop that ability, actually, but it would take more than 2 weeks of effort and belief that you could do it. My dad walks around in the dark and only kicks things that I moved and forgot to put back. How? I would love to have this ability. It has to do with your spatial reasoning and memory skills. If you live in the same place long enough, you'll eventually know the location of every object and the approximate distance from one spot to the next, so you could navigate without seeing. You also learn to use the lights on clocks and such as landmarks. It sort of happens with time, though you could practice it by turning the lights out except for the dimmest bulbs, and go from there. It's very rare to be in a pitch black environment. You can train yourself to sense when something is not as black as the space around it, which then triggers the spatial reasoning that it is probably a thing to not walk into. I would suggest just meditation / sitting with your eyes open in your bedroom with the lights off, and eventually your eyes will adjust enough that you should be able to pick out the major items in the room based off contrast. I'm also a big fan of dimmer switches. No reason to turn your bedroom lights all the way on if you're going to sleep or just waking up. I played through GTA 3 one month, and after a particularly long night, I 100% stepped off the curb on a busy street, fully expecting the incoming traffic to grind to a halt and yell at me. My buddy yelled at me first and possibly saved my life. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm glad your friend was with you. It's okay, he walked out of the closest hospital with no injuries and a bit of his money gone. And without any of his weapons, unless he'd done all the paramedic missions. To be fair, depending on where you live, that is how traffic works. I come from a state where jaywalking is just something that happens. When I took my driver's test, there was a couple walking across a 6-lane road, 35 miles per hour, without a crosswalk, just casually. I was playing Skyrim for a few hours every day, went over to a friend's house and noticed their lavender bush and thought, I should harvest that. Went on a Skyrim break after that. Had a similar thing happen after spending a few days doing almost nothing but playing Metal Gear Solid. I was walking to the beach with my friend and I saw some yellow flowers on the other side of the road, and I had to seriously restrain myself from going over there to grab them. It's so weird how games can get in your head like that. I also had a similar experience when I caught myself having sex with a lizard. Hold up. I refuse to drive for at least an hour after playing any driving game. People will get hurt. Get Forza Horizon 4, it's my fave driving game, unless you already have it. I once played Forza for a few hours and then needed to go to the store. I pulled out of the parking lot of my apartment and proceeded to pull onto the left side of the road. I live in America. Needless to say, I stopped playing Forza for a while after that. I once went to a go-kart place with some friends. After tearing around the track for 45 minutes, I got in my car and tore out of the parking lot like I was still in the go-kart. It was only a few seconds, but holy hell. That was scary. I'm lucky enough to have a Corolla. 0 to 60 in 10 years and impossible to skid unless weather permits, lol. After a long session of playing a first-person shooter, I went to sea, kept waking up at night from the terrifying dreams. Every time I die in the dream I respawn. I don't mean to alarm you, but I think you might have broken out of the Matrix. If you're killed in the Matrix, you die here. The body cannot live without the mind. I play a lot of Rocket League. A lot. I dreamed I was crashing the family car and the wife had to wake me up because I was saying, "Boost. Don't fail me now. Don't fail me now." Over and over in my sleep. Yo, so I had just finished playing Borderlands 2. I had been playing for like 7 hours straight, and I looked at my hand and it just kinda looked off. That's when I noticed everything looked really different, because I'd adjusted to the Borderlands environment in my mind, so reality looked wrong. I think you might have Borderlands personality disorder. I get this after too much VR. My brain forgets my real hand is actually flexible. Or there's the one where you take off the VR headset and find yourself facing in a completely different direction than you expect. Similar experience where I very briefly thought I'd gone blind as I took off my headset. Turned out I'd just not turned my light on before playing, and the sun had gone down. I got obsessed with Plague Incorporated on my phone. Now I keep imagining all these news stories about a plague and have really vivid hallucinations of everyone wearing masks. Saddest part is that it's pretty easy to see that God's playing on casual mode. In America he's on easy. You sure he isn't playing on some secret guaranteed win difficulty? Nah, because New Zealand has shut down the ports and airports. So as long as they stop letting COVID people in. I used to play a lot of Rust on PC. For the longest time, my heart would skip a beat and my first instinct was to duck slightly every time I heard a helicopter. I kind of got a knot in my stomach walking out of my front door after playing for a long period of time. For some reason I might be IRL'd or camped. The PTSD that games gives me. Same. Played it a fair bit in my late high school years. Was walking to the bus in the morning after a long night on wipe day and heard a helicopter. Instinctively thought to duck and hide in the woods to the side of the road. Been playing lots of Rust for the past couple of weeks. Anytime I see a tree stump while driving, I think, oh I gotta grab that. Also, airdrops when I see a plane. I need to take a break. I played The Sims a lot as a kid and would stack tasks up in my head in the order I wanted them done. Shower, breakfast, walk dog, lunch, etc. All of the other stuff here is like someone messing stuff up and just trying to reload a save IRL or doing some dumb shit, and yours is just getting your life organized. And they say gaming is bad. Ha. Hold on, I have to go save my progress. It's been a good day, don't want to mess up. I played Sims 2 once, didn't even play that much, went to bed, couldn't sleep. For some reason I was just thinking about Sims 2, and every time I said, okay time to sleep now, I would think about clicking the bed and clicking sleep, then I would continue thinking about Sims. It was the strangest, most surreal experience in my life. I literally couldn't sleep, and I didn't. Haven't played Sims since then. Lol, one of my favorite anecdotes. When I was young and irresponsible, I dedicated 3 weeks of my life to playing the first System Shock non-stop. One day, I got caught on the toilet and discovered I had done the deed, but there was no paper left. My immediate reaction was, if I had saved before going, I could simply reload. Yeah. I played Subnautica for 8 hours straight and heard my house creaking because it was a thunderstorm and thought a reaper had found my seamoth while I was exploring the Aurora. Is that game worth the download? Been thinking about checking it out. Definitely, but you need some good graphics if you want the full experience. Yeah, amazing game, but damn, is it badly optimized. I have been playing it recently. For the first time. Amazing experience. Full of incredible moments. And the best part is that I haven't checked guides even once yet. Not necessarily a video game, but I used to play Candy Crush a lot, and one time I was watching regular show and was like, huh, if those two characters swapped clothes they'd both disappear. I deleted the app after that. I used to close my eyes and see the levels until I fell asleep. I can swear to God I could see things pixelated after playing Monkey Island for too long as a kid. Same here, but I played Terraria. Stuff inside the house turns to little pixelated objects when I catch glimpses of them. Whenever I play puzzle games for extended periods of times this happens to me. I get the method of thinking stuck in my head, and I have to remind myself to stop thinking like it's Tetris or whatever. I used to play a game called 2048. You have a grid and you swipe up or down to combine boxes of the same score. I had to quit because it was getting to the point where I would see a row of people sat together and just be thinking of shoving them into each other to improve my score. I play Skyrim with the amazing Frostfall mod, and I was playing for about 12 hours one day. If you don't know about Frostfall, it's basically a mod for Skyrim that adds cold weather simulation to the game and a full camping and survival system. The first time I tried it out I was so amazed at it, I actually didn't stand up for 12 hours because it was so fun to have Skyrim with a survival simulator built in. After I realized how long my play session was, I looked around my room and had this wave of tiredness flow over me, and it kinda took me a second to realize I was at it for so long. So I saved my progress and stood up and my legs were so stiff from sitting for 12 hours I had to almost limp to bed. I fell into my bed and clicked the heater on. I remember I dreamt of camping on the plains of Whiterun, building a little campsite, chopping enough wood for the night, and hunting a few deer for my evening meal. While I was laying in bed about to go to sleep, it was a little cold in my room, so I got up and clicked on my space heater and knelt next to it and warmed my hands near it like a campfire. After I got warm, I realized I had just done things the way I would have in the game. That actually sounds nice, to be honest. Makes wanna give it a try. That sensation where you keep playing perfectly in your mind, kinda miss it. I play modded Minecraft a lot. One time I was out on a boat and saw an absolutely gorgeous sunset. For a split second I thought, I'm gonna jump off this boat and fly over there. I'm sad to say that I realized I didn't have wings, but I also didn't jump off the boat. Why is this making me laugh so much? Because the thought of someone jumping off a boat in hopes to fly with Minecraft wings is probably pretty funny. I played 4,000 hours on Ark Survival, evolved as a co-leader on an alpha tribe on the server we played on. This shit felt like a full-time job. I had to help organize schedules for everyone on when to play and set tasks for everyone to do. Eventually Chinese hackers wiped us off the server and I quit the game. I definitely felt like I should have been more busy after I quit and felt like I had so much free time. The first time I played what I believe was actually a Call of Duty game before online play. You stormed the beach at Normandy in the opening mission. I must have died 20 times before I got past it. That night I had the most fucked up dreams of bombs dropping and machine gun fire. I guess it just got stuck. When I first started getting into Dead by Daylight, I could still hear the heartbeat at the back of my mind and body kept feeling alert/panicky, even though I don't have a killer to be looking out for.